my whole life, I've always enjoyed just talking to people. And the thing that often comes back at me is like, oh, you're really easy to talk to, or you made it comfortable to tell you about this story or whatever.
70% of the job is being able to interact with people, go to the right people, talk to the right people, relay information.
My job always involves teams. I'm never working on my own, ever. We always have to be communicating between a writer or a producer or a broadcaster or an executive.
You're never really going to be on a project on your own, even if it is a one-person show. There are going to be so many parts to the production.
You have to be an effective communicator and also be really polite and personable.
Be pleasant, that goes such a long way.
It just gets things done so much quicker.
Growing up, we had, quite a big family and everybody mucked in. And all those things at the time, which you hate growing up, have actually been really beneficial in my career. We always had to cook and clean and do everything. I then went into service and I worked in restaurants and bars. One of the things about working in service is that you're always part of a team, and that is a really good transferable skill.
A big one would be staying positive. You face a lot of rejection and you feel like a lot of the time you're the only one, but actually it's every actor everywhere is experiencing that, and so you need to make sure you're kind of staying positive all the way through that and not taking that rejection personally.
You need to be able to take feedback, and it will be feedback that you feel might be a bit personal, but it's not personal, it's all subjective and it's just about the film.
Understanding that rejection is totally normal in this industry and learning how to kind of be your own best friend and support yourself, how you can combat self-doubt and self-destructive thoughts is usually through positive thinking. So I think that is, having a good mindset is really good as well. That's a transferable skill.
Optimism is really important in my job.
A positive mindset gets you so far. And I'm not here being preaching everyone just, love your life. I'm not that kind of person at all. But I have realised that particularly in this industry, we are so lucky to do some of the things that we do, and approaching it in that positive way radiates out onto other people and means other people have a good time doing it as well.
Teamwork is really important.
If you're sporty and you're on sports teams, that's a lot of teamwork and that's a lot of communication. And that's exactly the same as it is if you are on a set, if you are developing scripts.
Be organised and focused. I think those are really important because you have to deliver.
Rely on your teamwork, rely on good communication, and rely on also good collaboration, because those are the things that are actually going to get you to success.
Every part of the working day you're using transferable skills.
So much of my job, even though it's creative, is actually just problem solving.
Problem solving is a big part of rigging. You have to work out, why isn't this working how I expect it to be working?
If you look at a TV show and the budget of something, how do we make this thing happen with the budget and the time that we've got?
There's times, for example, on set that a director will come up to you, it's like, hey, Jose, I have this great idea for this shot. What can we do to make it? Explain me the shot. Big explosion, wire coming over here, car crash. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more complex than that. Okay, how long would that take? Give or take a couple hours. We can't do that. Okay, so let's figure something out. Let's figure what we can make.
With film, you're not filming in sequence, so you're learning a scene that's at the end of the film, and then you've got to come back the next day and do a scene that's at the beginning of the film. You have to make sure that you're prioritising your time. So you're learning the lines for that day, you're delivering the lines for that day, working that day, and then you need to go home, and yes, you need to chill, but actually you've got work to prepare for the next day. So being able to have organisational skills, I think, is really important.
If you are really good at talking to people, then that is a central part of being a casting person. It's either going out into the world and chatting to people and telling people about an opportunity, but also it's bringing actors into the room and helping them do their best job.
Writing is an iterative process, so there's lots of different drafts along the way. Every single time you submit a piece of work, whether that's just the first short story or a one-pager, you're going to get notes, and that doesn't disappear, even when you've kind of got to the highest bit of the industry. That's where the teamwork comes in, of how do you stay true to what you want to make, but also take on board other people's ideas. You need to learn how to make what you've written, which can often be very personal, something that's universal. And often that comes from testing it with collaborators and kind of meeting people in the middle so that you get better at communicating your own ideas.
No day's the same as well. Flexibility, yeah, is key, massively.
I think my advice in developing transferable skills would be, I mean, it sounds so silly, but it's that practice makes perfect thing.
Anything that you can do to improve your positive self-talk is a transferable skill.
Back yourself. Be confident in what you can bring to a project and tell yourself you can do it. That's a really, really important part of it.
Back yourself is really important. There's a lot of no's that come your way working in TV and film, and rejection is massive. But if you've got your own back and you've got good people around you and you can keep going with it, I genuinely think that you will get to where you want to be.
Wherever you're from, you'll have something that nobody else does. And I think it's really important to just tell yourself that, because we can really get lost in this person's doing that and that person's doing that. And it's just having that belief to know that whatever you've got, you can use that to your advantage.
Not everybody needs to go to film school to end up working in film, but it's about your own journey and your own development.
Try to do different things, enjoy your hobbies. So I, for example, enjoy a lot of board games. It doesn't immediately translate, but it's something that, because I enjoy a lot of the different mechanics, that's something I look at. How would this look like if I would bring it to a game?
If you love sports and you can bring that side of things into filmmaking, then why not?
Be curious. It's the most important thing. Always, always, always ask questions about everything and talk to people and connect with people, because that's the way that this industry works, is connecting with people.
Sometimes people think, do I want to be in a room with that person? Do I want to work with them? What are they like with other people? Being able to regulate yourself and being able to learn how to be around people and to be a warm and welcoming person to be around, I think is really important. So just being observing of people and the people that you like to be around, I think is important.
Communicating, being open as you possibly can, I think, because also that's really healthy when it comes to kind of dealing with the emotions that come along with acting, is kind of being open. So I think if you practice that, you kind of then get a lot better at speaking and listening as well.
We will always make mistakes. There are always failures along the way, because that's what developing into a career involves. It's also what the creative industries involve. You try things, sometimes they don't work out. Don't take any of that deeply personally. Just keep going.